If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or anything gaming related, check the referral links down in the description. They'll take you to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods already, and with the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well. Hey guys, how's it going? Ches back again and welcome to episode number 179 of the Career Mode Road to Glory here on FIFA 15. We start with the second leg away from home against Roma in the Europa League round of 16. Obviously we played the first leg at home at the Abbey Stadium on Monday, coming after the rather resounding defeat against Manchester United in the Barclays Premier League. I was really pleased with the way we bounced back and were able to get a 2-0 victory in the opening leg. Now, like we said in that video, we played Roma last year and they were particularly disappointing, and in the first leg this year they were just as bad. It's really strange. They're one of the strongest sides in Europe, really, as well as in Italy. Obviously they have such a strong squad, but they just underperform. So I was hoping that we not necessarily have a comfortable time here at the Stadio Olimpico, but I was pretty convinced that I wasn't going to concede 2 or more goals to a Roma side that just hasn't really threatened me that much in either season that we've played them so far. Sadio Mane coming down the right hand side, trying to whip in a great cross actually, but Georgiev's header was actually well blocked by Leandro Castan. And then a few minutes later it was their turn to come on the attack down the other end of the pitch. Dodo, the left back, obviously we had him on loan at Inter Milan earlier on this year on FIFA 15. Nangolan gets past the tackler Timo Werner, almost tackles it into the path of the other Roma player, but fortunately for me, my goalkeeper Marcus Hutchinson was on hand to make a good smart save at his near post, and a really poor free kick, to be completely honest, from Roma, but then an even worse pass out from me meant that Giovanni Dos Santos could set up Nangolan, worked it back to the Mexican who gets it into Florenzi, and that's a very good finish to make it Roma 1, Cambridge United 0, just 7 minutes into the second half. So they're starting to get their way back into the tie, and there's plenty of time left for them to be able to get themselves back into the main picture of going through perhaps to the next round. But we're trying to get ourselves a goal of our own here, bring it back level on the night and make it 3-1 on aggregate. But obviously, as you can see, their goalkeeper was denying me that opportunity, and they continue to press forward. It's coming down the right hand side again with Giovanni Dos Santos. Now obviously in real life is an LA Galaxy player, not playing for Villarreal anymore, but in this save he's moved to Roma. But he's got to do better with that header in the middle, really got to do better. Can place that anywhere other than where he did, and it would have been 2-0 to Roma and level on aggregate. They made a change, so I made 2 changes as well, bringing on George Murphy and Alvaro Vidillo. Vidillo involved here in the move from the resulting throw-in just prior to him coming onto the pitch. Plays it to Ivaz. Good save by the keeper, but Strahil Georgiev gets there first and he's able to sweep home to make it 3-1 on aggregate. There is the crucial away goal for us, and that means that Roma now need 3 more goals to go through. 3 more goals to go through. If they draw a level on aggregate and make it 3-1 on the night and 3-3 on aggregate, that doesn't mean that they go to extra time, because we would have gone through in away goals. But in the end, it really doesn't matter, because substitute Alvaro Vidillo gets us a second goal. So a 2-0 win at home, a 2-1 win away, and a 4-1 win on aggregate overall sees us through to the quarterfinals of the Europa League for the second consecutive season. Obviously, we reached the semis last year, so we'll try our best to at least match that this year. But the main aim is Champions League football for next season. We currently have a game in hand on the 2 teams below us, Man City and Newcastle, but obviously we're playing Newcastle here, and if they win this, they will go above us. If we draw, obviously we'll stay above them with the game in hand, and that will really put us in a really strong position if we could win that game in hand as well, to very much push ourselves up into and consolidate that 3rd place and try and get Champions League football for season number 8 here at Cambridge United. We're starting with a bit of a rotation side, although it's nice to welcome back Matteo Mustachio for I think the first time since he got injured. He may have been involved from the bench in one of the previous couple of games, but I believe this is his first game back in the starting lineup, so pleased to welcome him back. We have missed him. We have been quite poor defensively recently, and well, we started off even worse. 2 minutes in, to be fair, it's a very good move by Newcastle, pinging it about with some first-time passes, and the finish as well was very, very good. But we're immediately on the back foot, 1-0 down against Newcastle United. Now, obviously, as we saw and we said, we unfortunately got a convincing defeat to Manchester United in the last episode, 4-0. So I really don't want to lose this one against Newcastle. We seem to be doing very well in Europe, but in the BPL in recent times, we're actually having a little bit of a stutter. So it would be nice to get back on track in a game such as this against opposition that are right around us in the league. We actually get back on level terms here in very fortuitous circumstances. Johannes Geis is my best free kick taker at present. Obviously James Ward-Prowse though is coming in the summer on a pre-contract, so we might have a better free kick taker in our starting lineup, but Tim Krul's really going to be disappointed with that. You can see from the replay he comes across towards the near post, gets down to it, but I'm not sure whether he's trying to keep it out or whether he was trying to push it around the post. Either or, he failed to do just that, and it trickled into the back of the net to bring us back on level terms at 1-1. Vernon Anita though into the box here. Rolando Aarons with the turn. Turns inside the defender as well. A brilliant feat from Rolando Aarons, but an equally good save from Marcus Hutchinson to keep Newcastle out. On the stroke of half-time though, into stoppage time we go. Vernon Anita picked up an injury there as well somehow. Remy Kabbalah is going to whip the corner in. Up goes Moussa Sissoko at the near post. We scramble it clear as best we can, but I don't know what Matteo Masaccio was doing there. Rolando Aarons dances into the box. We get the tackle in on the man in the box, and then the referee points to the spot. We had two very controversial penalties given against us against Manchester United in the last episode, and now another very controversial penalty awarded against us. John Stones quite clearly wins the ball and toe pokes it away from worries, but the referee points to the spot. Kabbalah steps up. It's Newcastle 2, Cambridge United 1. Now, I am quite frankly done, fed up, finished with some of these dodgy penalty decisions. It cost us huge against Manchester United because it gave them the momentum to get themselves the 4-0 victory. It's cost us the 1-1 draw here, currently 2-1 down, and Johannes Geis is trying his best to work something in the second half, but Newcastle defended like absolute badgers, as Chris Kamara would say, and unfortunately we lose this game 2-1 thanks to that dodgy penalty call. Livid. I was absolutely furious. I was close to not recording the third game because I was that angry at the CPU for doing again to me what it did against Manchester United and giving away dodgy penalties. But like we've said, we are doing slightly better in Europe than we are in the BPL right now, so we'll come into this third game of the season in the quarter-final first leg, away from home initially this time, rather than at home first like we were against Roma, in Russia against Zenit St. Petersburg. Obviously starting Axel Witsel, Javi Garcia, they've got Danny on the left, they've got Hulk on the right, Ezequiel Garay at centre-back. They've actually got a very strong side, Zenit St. Petersburg. It's a wonder why they don't do so well in European competition in real life on a consistent basis. But as you can see, starting my stronger side here with Paul Downing into the starting lineup after Masaccio really didn't do that well, actually, coming back from injury into the previous game. Ivaz still playing ahead of the injured Julian von Haak in my starting lineup, and obviously von Haak will probably be leaving us at the end of this season anyway. But we're going to start on the front foot the same way that Newcastle did in the previous game. Well, unfortunately, this time we weren't able to score the goal the way that they did. It was deflected and went over the top of the bar for a corner, which sadly nothing came of. Then it was Zenit's turn to push forward down the left-hand side. Going to try and work it into Danny here, who stands the ball up eventually into the box with a good cross. Well won at the near post with the header. It's a very good header as well that comes back off the post. Really unlucky not to give them a 1-0 lead there, but we get a good block in, similar to how they did with the first highlight, to deflect the ball over the top of the bar and stop Zenit St. Petersburg taking the lead. Strahil Georgiev though draws a good save out of their goalkeeper a few moments later. We still stay at 0-0 though. Hulk with a good tackle somehow manages to keep that in as it was going out of play, and they're coming down the right hand side, threaded through to Dordovic here. This is going to turn inside the box into Shatov. Good square into Javi Garcia and a very tidy finish into the near post. That's Zenit St. Petersburg 1, Cambridge United 0. Not the way that we wanted to start this game by going 1-0 down, to be completely honest. Javi Garcia involved again. Good tackle on him by Paul Downing, but for some reason the physics engine just meant that Javi Garcia was carried forward, lifted off the ground by Paul Downing's tackle, and that meant that they could work the ball back into the box to square it into the striker in the middle to make it 2-0 with a very, very good header. Again, if I wasn't already annoyed and was thinking about not playing this third game, I was even more annoyed by the fact that I'd now decided, you know what, no, I will play it. You guys deserve 3 games an episode from this series, and then all of this happens in the third game as well. I couldn't believe it. Strahil Georgiev was through 1-on-1 there, and then for some inexplicable reason, his final touch was twice as heavy as every single other one, and it went straight into the goalkeeper's hands. I felt like the game was working against me in this one, to be completely honest, but Timo Werner plays through Strahil Georgiev again here, raises onto it. This time I decided, you know what, I'm not going to take any touches, I'm just going to hit it first time. Did so, and the Bulgarian powers it into the back of the net. Racing onto onto it, actually on his weak right foot there, but a very good finish into the roof there to make it 2-1. Then with 5 minutes to go, we're going to try and work ourselves back level. Georgiev involved again. He and Palzen have linked up brilliantly well all throughout the season. Both involved here. Adarabioyo into Palzen again. Brilliant feat to get it into Georgiev. Obviously going to turn onto his left foot in that particular scenario. We've worked so hard to get ourselves back to 2-2. Now the ascendancy was in our favour. However, straight from kickoff, Hulk's going to get it down the line here on the left-hand side. Eventually, it finds its way to Shatov. The cross comes in. Looks as if it's going out. Defender challenges for it. The goalkeeper comes and just doesn't try and punch it. We go 3-2 down in stoppage time. Watch the goalkeeper here. Runs out. Doesn't make any attempt to try and win the ball. He literally just sprints at the man underneath it. Doesn't try and catch it. Doesn't try and punch it. Just runs at him and does nothing. So it's a simple header. It's Zenit 3, Cambridge United 0. Cambridge United 2, sorry. And then Lodjan makes another good save towards the end of the game. We could have made it 3-3. We weren't able to make it 3-3. It's a 3-2 defeat against Zenit St. Petersburg. I was raging quite hard, to be completely honest, when I was recording this. It was like 3 AM in the morning when I was recording that episode, and I was trying my absolute best not to shout and scream and wake everybody up in the house. But we do, thankfully, still have a game in hand on the two teams above us, so we can go above them into third place should we win it. And my word, do we need to win it. We also have a game against Manchester City coming up soon as well. I think, in fact, that may even be the very next game is against Manchester City. So if we couldn't afford to lose the one against Newcastle and did, couldn't afford to lose the one against Manchester United and did, we really can't afford to lose the game against Manchester City, because if we do, that will nullify our game in hand, because, of course, they will be 4 points ahead of us, and we will only have the opportunity to gain 3 points on them with that game in hand. So we cannot lose. It's not a must win, but it is a definite cannot lose against Manchester City in the next game. And then we must win our game in hand. We absolutely must win our game in hand. It's going to be very, very tight towards the end of the season here. In the season last year, we got pipped to Champions League football by Arsenal. In Football Manager recently, we got pipped to Champions League football by Arsenal and Manchester United. I am not for the third series. In fact, we got pipped to the title in the Chelsea pyramid as well. So for the fourth series, I am not going to let the game get the better of me. I want Champions League football so bad for Cambridge United in the final season next time out. We have to finish in the top 4 with the remaining 9 games of the season. That's going to bring today's episode to a close, guys. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time.